Ever felt alone in your health journey? Today, we uncover a remarkable story of resilience and discovery. Our guest shares her journey through rare health challenges, surgeries, and the quest for answers. Discover how she found empowerment and relief through natural solutions, products she now champions to help others like you. Stay tuned to this episode of the Meno Lounge, hot flashes and cool conversations to hear all about her inspirational story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Meno Lounge. I'm Robin Duke, and this is my wonderful co-host, Marti Daly. Today, we're diving into an incredible journey of transformation and resilience. We'll be discussing natural health solutions, overcoming adversity, and how our guest turned her passion for wellness into a thriving business. So stay tuned. Also today, we are so happy to start our Marble of the Day contest. So if you are going to the Menopalooza retreat in Sedona, Arizona in November, you're going to want to stay tuned for the Marble of the Day. It starts today.
I am so excited for this Marvel game, so definitely stay tuned. And I'm also excited because joining us today is Debbie Brenner, a technology and cybersecurity expert turned natural health advocate. With a background in technology and cybersecurity, she decided in her early 50s to begin pivoting towards natural health solutions and products, driven by a passion to enhance quality of life through sustainable, beneficial choices. Debbie is committed to inspiring others to think, live, and give goodness by promoting a holistic approach to health and happiness in all areas of life. Debbie, we are super excited to have you join us today in the Meno Lounge.
Thanks so much. I'm excited.
Debbie.
Well, before we dive into your story and learning more about you, as always, we like to start our show with a Meno moment, which is a lighthearted or sometimes kind of funny or sometimes a little bit sad or scary little moments that we all have as we go through this stage of life. I will go ahead and start with mine. It was kind of a rage moment. I don't get those too often, but it was the silliest thing. So I have one of those pill dispenser containers that have the days of the week on them. I've been using the same one for years for my thyroid medication and for my supplements and such. And I decided it needed a good cleaning. So I cleaned it out and got it all dried up. And I went to go and try to put the little lids back on. And I could not for the life of me get them to go back in. So what do? I could have just put it down and just stepped away. Oh no. I started pounding the dang thing under the counter, smashed some of my, and plastic went flying everywhere. And I was like, oh, this is not a good thing. Yeah, I was like, okay, I now I do need to step away. It's kind of like, wow, I don't know where that came from, but I was kind of feeling a little agitated and took it out on my poor little pill container. So I ended up getting another one. And of course, as payback, now one of the little fit tabbies just will not open. So, oh well. But that was mine. How about you, Debbie?
Yeah, I had to sit back and think. I have so many of the same ones that people do, but so I do a lot of events. And I was doing an evening event. So I think it started like at 5 and got over like at 10. And of course, you do setup and all of that. Well, I put my car keys somewhere. It's now dark out and I can't find where my car keys are. Like I'm panicking because I've packed everything up. Everybody's leaving and I can't find my car keys anywhere. So logically, I'm like, okay, where did you put them? It's only been 5 hours. How could you have lost your keys? Well, I had put them in my iPad folder because I figured I would be putting my iPad back in there at the end and I would pull my keys out. Well, I didn't. I ended up throwing the iPad in another bag, but yeah, I had a panic moment. Like I did not want to have to call my husband and tell him, lost the keys to the car and I need you to come here. So now my keys, I'll have Apple tags on them so that I can locate my keychains if I need to. So, but that one was a panic moment. Like, oh, what the heck?
So, oh yeah.
Well, I can definitely relate to losing keys because that happens regularly around our house, especially those keys that you don't have to actually like plug into the car, like old-fashioned keys where you actually had to hold the key. No, these are like, you can have it in the bottom of your purse and the car will still start, right? Yeah, so we're sitting there yesterday. I just thought about this. We're sitting there yesterday getting ready to go down to the beach and run the dogs. And we're both in there, the dogs are in there, and the car's not starting. It's like, oh, crap. The key's upstairs in the house. So, okay, gotta go upstairs and, get the key, bring it down. And, so yeah, that happens pretty regularly. But it's really frustrating. And boy, Marty, I can relate to those little anger spikes because they really just come out of nowhere. Oh my goodness.
Right?
And you just don't even think that that is building up. But, part of being in menopause are those little anger spikes that happen to us. But my Meno moment is more around anxiety. And just, I've got an event coming up later this week. And so just if I sit and I think about it, then the mountain looks really big. And instead of just eating the elephant one bite at a time, kind of thing. So I have to like really maintain that because else I will feel very overwhelmed. And so when that happens, I do some self-talking, I do some deep breathing, and I look at it logically and going, okay, you can do this, you have all the pieces. So I kind of give myself that little, pep talk that, says, okay, one bite at a time. You don't have to like eat the whole mountain all at once or the whole elephant all at once. But I've been finding that I do get a little bit of that anxiety, and I've been seeing it in the menopause group. A lot of women have been hitting a lot of anxiety. And what do you do? So those are some of the things that I do, which is the deep breathing, the self-talk, making a list, taking it just 1 hour at a time. And sure, by the end of the day, everything's under control and I'm ready.
One thing I wanted to add on that, Robin, as you were saying that, I had a thought, something that always has helped me. It was something I learned several years ago, is that nervousness and excitement feel the same. It's the same feeling. So what has helped me, because I remember I was doing a big thing, I was like reaching out. I used to be in like a sales job, and I was reaching out to some leads, and I had that tightening in that feeling in my stomach of like I'm nervous, and it's like, no, or is this nervousness? What if this could be excitement? And instead of thinking about all the things that could go wrong or all the things that we would be nervous about, is shift that into, okay, what if I'm excited about, talking to people and excited about going on this journey with them? And I find trying to get into that habit of when I feel that feeling of like, what if this could be excitement? It kind of changes it a bit.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Debbie, you do a lot of events. Do you ever get nervous before an event?
No, I've done speaking events in front of 5,000 people. I think I've just done so many that I don't get nervous anymore. I try not to get flustered, like if there's a lot to do, but yeah, I don't really get nervous anymore. I guess I'm comfortable with what I'm doing if I'm not getting nervous. So
Any tips for our listeners out there who do get nervous?
I would say for me, I have to think back to a few years, but being prepared, especially in speaking engagements, doing all the pre-work and not going in cold. I know some people don't pre-work, don't pre-write their speeches or their plans. I can't do that. I need to like go in. I don't memorize it, but I at least know what I'm going to say. So that's always been helpful. And then I actually try to have fun with everything that I do. Try to make it fun because I've been to a lot of conferences, I've been to a lot of events. You're sitting in these things every hour and you want to keep the audience engaged. So that's typically what I do. But now it's just like secondhand for me because I've done so many that it doesn't bother me anymore, which could be good, could be bad, but I think it's good that I'm comfortable.
Practice makes perfect,
That's
So
right.
that's really good. So, Debbie, tell us a little bit about your background. It's so fascinating in technology and cyber security. Both things.
Yes.
So, share a little bit with us.
So I knew in middle school that I wanted to go into IT. I stuck with that, went to college, got my degree in MIS, been in technology and cybersecurity for 35 plus years. I won't say exact. I want to date myself exactly. I started out as a computer operator in my first job, and then I worked my way up to a CTO and Chief Information Security Officer level. And really, cybersecurity kind of became my passion before it was the cool thing to do. And there's just so many people that need help, and not just businesses, but I'll use my parents, for example. They're getting hit with scams all the time. And there's just this education piece that, I have to keep telling them, don't click, ignore it. No, it's not real. The preying on the elderly right now is really, it's kind of become a passion of mine. Like, how can I get the word out and help senior citizens more, because they're just getting so taken advantage of. So, but yeah, so I did that. I've done that for a bunch of years. I retired from the corporate world a couple of years ago, started my own company and do consulting for a limited number of clients, which allows me to focus on my passion of starting Think, Live, Give Goodness and focusing on, natural products and offerings for women and pets to help live the best life.
May I ask what inspired you? Tell us a little bit about what caused you to pivot from the cybersecurity of the IT role into the natural solutions and the pet products and helping women.
Yeah, so I had a lot of health issues in the mid 2000s and couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was going to see every doctor you could possibly see, and I was having problem breathing. Basically felt like I couldn't get air, and nobody could figure out what it was. After 4 years of trying, nobody could figure out what it was. So I decided I got to take control of my own healthcare. Living in Florida at the time, I knew of Cleveland Clinic because I lived in Michigan. So I reached out to Cleveland Clinic, went to Cleveland Clinic, saw a new doctor there. They believed it was allergies. So they put me on the 5-year allergy shot rotation that you do. And I did have bad allergies, and the shots did help my allergies, but it didn't help my breathing. So after the first year of taking these shots, the allergist took me over to an otolaryngologist and walked me in across the hall, walked me in his office. The guy put a scope down my throat and said, "You need to have surgery right away. You're almost completely closed off. If you don't have surgery, you're not going to be here." And I'm like, "Well, I'm doing an event next week. I had a big event planned." And he's like, "No, you don't understand. If you don't have surgery like within 24 hours, you won't be here." And I'm like, wow, because I always was go, 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 go. So come to find out, I have a condition. It's called subglycolic stenosis, and it's like 1 in a million people have it. It's very rare. Scar tissue is closing off my throat and contracts and basically closes it off for the air. There's no way to start scar tissue from growing. So I have to keep having surgeries to go in and scrape it out and open it back up. So just something that I have to manage, and I actually have to take breathing measurements every day. And when I'm start getting to a certain level, that I need to call my surgeon and time to come in for surgery. So
how often do you have to do that?
So initially they had a hard time. I had like 4 surgeries in like three or 4 months. And then they used a new tool on one of the last surgery. And basically I went 5 years. And I was like living life, breathing. I could exercise. Like I couldn't even walk from a parking lot into the office building. It was really bad. But I was like living life, so happy. And then at about 5-year mark, I started feeling like the feeling again. And I'm like, no. So come to find out, that's a rarity that lasts that long. I guess good luck it lasts that long. But I'm going in now like once or twice a year. In between, they do steroid injections into my neck to try to keep it calm, and steroids do a lot of things and keep it calm and calm down. I had one in October and I just had to have another one in May. So it just all depends. And they have some alternative treatments now, but I'm not willing to. One of them is they go in and cut out the part that's bad and then sew it back together. But with the issues with my scar tissue that I have, I'm still going to have scar tissue. So like, is it worth me losing my voice or not being able to talk or having other issues? And I'm like, I'll just keep doing the surgeries. At least I know how to manage it now. So, and I've got a great surgeon here in Texas. So
sounds painful. It's always there. It sounds like everything you're going through is just pain.
Yeah. And it's interesting that the people that know me, like on the phone, they'll hear me start wheezing. They're like, "When's the last time you had throat surgery? Like, it sounds like you need it again." So when they go in and cut it out, this is the part. They actually also drill in my throat to open it.
Wow.
So yeah, if I could show you the picture, a picture's worth 1,000 words. People don't understand when I say it. When I show them the picture, I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I'm like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So just thank God they figured out finally what it was. Thank God that doctor found it as quick as he did and, pushed me. It's serious with the healthcare these days. When you go there for a normal allergy shot and you're being walked to a doctor and then you're getting your blood work and your EKG, they're like fitting you in. You don't have to come back. They're doing it all the same day. You take it seriously at that point.
Wow.
Absolutely. Wow. What an incredible story. You're going through this, you're learning about this condition and then how to live with it. And so this is all part of your journey, part of your story. So how did that start changing your life to the path that you're on today?
I started looking like everything because when I was first diagnosed, there wasn't a lot of information out there about it. There were maybe like 3 doctors that had ever done anything with it, and the doctor that I had was one of them. I was doing a lot of research, like trying to figure out, is it something in my family history? Is it something that I'm ingesting? And they still, to this day, don't know what causes it. They know it's mostly women. There's a lot of studies going on. Luckily, Facebook came along, and there's a Facebook group now that I'm a member of, and they do a lot of studies from women all over the world trying to figure out what triggers or what the trends are that caused it. So I started looking at everything myself, like, okay, what am I eating? What medicine am I taking? I switched to like all clean products, all clean laundry detergents, clean deodorant, like everything I could think of, just because I'm like, okay, it can't be bad if I'm doing that, but they don't know why. Only these people have it. It's so hard to not have an answer and trying to do something to do better. So I started doing the clean products. I felt a lot better personally. I had skin issues, those went away. And I was sleeping better, and I just kind of incorporated it into my daily life. Everything that I do, I look at everything that I'm using.
What was the worst part, Debbie, of spending that? You said it was like 5 years that you were
Well,
dealing with this, and they don't have an answer for you.
I hear a lot from other people, and I will say, I think mine was, I knew something was wrong, and everybody was telling me you're fine, nothing's wrong. Even one doctor said, living in Florida, he's like, oh, maybe it's because they're burning the sugar canes this time of year. That's why you can't breathe. I mean, after being told so many times that you're fine, and it's like I was not fine. And I would cry. I'd tell my husband, nobody can help me. Nobody believes me. And I don't have a choice. I've got to take control of this. And, that's what I did. So, and come to find out, you're 1 in a million. So yeah, you're 1 in a million people. So nobody knows about it. But now, thank God that I was diagnosed. I've been living with it since 2011, I think is when I got the first surgery, 2010, 2011. And then I've had other health issues on top of that. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed, another 1 in a million, with a rare form of cancer called DFSP. I don't know the medical jargon, but that's just the short end of it. And it was something I'd had on my body for years. And the doctors basically said, oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. And then finally I got a dermatologist that biopsied it and said, oh, no, it's something. So that whole thing happened. And then I had to of course, have surgery, and I had problems with the scar tissue heal, like the way my body heals or whatever it does. So I have to go in and get injections. It's in my lower back, and I have to go in and get injections to like try to keep the scar tissue soft. Unfortunately, I had a manual car. I loved my Challenger, and I had to get rid of it because the stretching of the shifting of my lower back wasn't comfortable anymore. So, but yeah, so I'm cancer free so far, everything's all good. Can manage my other conditions. Thankfully, I have a plant medical team that can do that. And then I really just started thinking, like, there's so many women, they don't advocate for themselves, and how can I help them, and how can I get the word out there? So basically that's kind of where it all started.
How would you say that those experiences shape your perspective on health and wellness?
It wasn't my friend for a long time. Like, I hated going to the doctor because every time I went to the doctor, there was something wrong. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and I remember after my annual checkup, a year after I had the surgery, when I was in my 5-year period, I didn't have it. I was like waiting with bated breath for my blood work because there was always something wrong. And like the doctor goes, you're good. Mammogram's good. Your blood work's good. I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
I'm so used to having such bad news all the time that you don't believe that you're okay. It took me a little while to get used to that. I know there's people that have it a lot worse than what I did. So.
Well, I see so many women in the group, and that's one of the things that I want to reach out to women about, but they talk about that anxiety. And these are women that may or may not have had anything terribly wrong, but they have that fear of just that dread of going in, of okay, this is the day they're going to tell me something horrible is wrong.
Yep.
And it can be very debilitating depending on the woman. Yeah. So
You're just waiting for the bad news and you
right,
don't get
because
it. You're like, what?
Because you're special. You're special, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, so all while that was going on, I jumped to the cancer, but I also had to have a hysterectomy in my early 40s. So I opted to have a partial hysterectomy based on the recommendations of the doctors, keep my ovaries to delay menopause. So I remember my mom growing up and seeing some of the things that she was going through, never talked to me about menopause, like a lot of us. And so I've been waiting because the doctors told me, you'll probably have to come back in. We might have to move your ovaries, whatever. Nothing's happened. It's been quite a few years now. And so I was like, I'm not having hot flashes. Like I'm reading all these things. And then I'm like, I guess I'm not going to have menopause. But then come to find out by accident that I was having menopause symptoms. I just didn't recognize that they were menopause symptoms. So when I read in the group, these women, they're just like, help me, hot flashes, anxiety, can't sleep. It's just heartbreaking. There's just so many women that need help.
Yes. And we're trying to bring education into the group. A lot of women have a lot of education, like you have done research, but then there's a lot of women that are like, I don't understand why I'm having to go through and suffer with all these symptoms from menopause. And so part of what we're doing is bringing education and understanding and love and patience to these ladies that are struggling, just like you have gone through and Marty and I have gone through, and just letting them know that they're not alone. It's okay to talk about it. It is menopause there, and these symptoms do happen. But there's a lot of things that you can do that are in your control, and people that do understand and can share what their experiences are, just like you're sharing your story with us today. Tell us a little bit more. You started a natural product line.
I started a business called ThinkLiveGiveGoodness. So we moved north of Dallas in 2014. I was still working in Florida most of the time because that's where the headquarters was for my company. And I was a senior executive and needed to be there, had a staff of 50, 60 people reporting up to me. So I wasn't here in Texas very much. And I wasn't meeting people. Like I had my friends in Florida, but as I started to progress to being in Texas more, I just wasn't out there. It's like I was at my house and wasn't really doing anything. So I decided I was going to look into offering kind of a collection of products that I have vetted that are maybe not well known, but well crafted natural products available for humans and pets. And, I talk about pets. I did not add, I have 6 dogs. I'm very passionate about pets. I've donated last year, I think I donated over $7,000 to local pet rescues from the sales from this company. It's like, I want to give back. I wasn't doing a lot of that. I was always working and traveling. So as I got older, I started reaching that, what can I do philanthropically? And so I started looking at products, and I have product lines. I try not to change them too much in my product line, but if I find something that is better, then I will alternate it out. So I have jewelry, beauty, skincare, pets, pet wholeness, pet nutrition, and then of course the health and wellness product, the supplements that I promote.
And you were telling us about one of these products is for cortisol management. Tell us about that, because I know that is such an important piece as we go through menopause. So tell us a little bit more about how you came to find this product and what it does.
Yeah, so the product is called Rebalance Health. And I can't do the story justice of telling the story. So I am going to be at Menopalooza, and the CEO of the company is supposed to be there as well. And I encourage everybody, it's amazing to hear him tell a story. But he was looking for something for his wife because of her health issues. She'd been diagnosed with Cushing's disease. She was, it was being debilitating to her. And he was like, I can figure this out. So he started working with doctors, and it was a multi-year thing that he did, working with doctors, just strictly trying to find something to help his wife. He found these products. They're all natural products. It helped his wife. He started giving other women around him, like, will you try this? And the women were coming back going, my hot flashes are gone. My brain fog's gone. My hair's growing. And he's like, no, can you go off of it? And the symptoms would come back. And then they'd go back on it, the symptoms would go away. So it's kind of almost like accidental that this came together. He wasn't trying to do it to make money. He was doing it strictly to help his wife live her best life. So after a lot of testing, independent third-party testing, they actually released the product, started selling it in April. I've been taking it since the beginning of March. I'm a full proponent. I don't promote anything that I don't use. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go 90 days and use this for the 90-day of the first quarter, and then I'll see. Well, after first night, I slept like a rock. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it must be a fluke. I've been sleeping great ever since I've been taking it. Energy levels are back. I didn't have the hot flashes part of it, but one of the symptoms that I didn't correlate to menopause was the achiness. I just always lived with achiness. I just figured that was just me, and that's the way it is. That's gone. My skin and nails were a wreck. When you have a lot of surgeries and you go under anesthesia, it's not good for your hair. So literally my hair was not, it just would fall out in globs. And like my hair's growing. I went to my stylist. I think I went to her in January and I went back in April. She's like, what are you doing to your hair? And I'm like, I'm taking these supplements. So what they do is they've learned that cortisol it's a fight or flight hormone. It controls so many things. And if your cortisol is out of whack, your other hormones are trying to figure out how to work correctly. So if you can balance your cortisol and the critical role that it plays, it will help even out all of the other hormones. So the product is patent pending. Proprietary delivery method is a lozenge. They did a lot of testing and determined that all of the pills that you take, I think the CEO says that we have the most expensive pee in the world because we pee a lot of all that stuff out. Whereas the lozenges stay in your system. You take them at certain times and it helps regulate. And I think the other thing that's really important is people to understand the importance of getting a good night's sleep every night, 7 to 9 hours, and making sure that you're getting that deep sleep at least an hour or more every night. So for as long as I can remember, I don't think I had deep sleep. And, I measure with my Apple Watch. And now I get anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a night. I was never a morning person. Now I'm a morning person. I'm up out of bed, not groggy, want to start the day, want to exercise, want to do all these things. And really, it's just had a profound impact on me. And I just want to get the word out to as many people and many women as possible, because this could be a very viable alternative before having to go on HRT or go on other prescribed medications. And why would you not want to try something that's natural versus going on the prescription? So that's my passion, is getting the word out and trying to help as many women as I can and sharing that information.
What is it called again?
It's called Rebalance Health. I will have the link for you guys to put in the show notes. But I also do weekly webinars open to anybody that wants to attend. I also offer one-on-one discussions with women that are interested. So I try to talk a lot of it, as well as going to a lot of health and wellness events, trying to get the word out there.
Well, we certainly do need that. And sleep is one of the most important things, especially during menopause, that women, they don't sleep and they have hot flashes in the middle of the night and it wakes them up and their hormones are all over the place. And these are very serious issues for many women going through the menopause years. So I'm excited to hear that there is actually something out there that is along the lines of a natural product, because there's a lot of women that can go on HRT, but there's a lot of them that can't and are looking for more natural ways to balance their menopause symptoms. And so it's really good to know whenever we can bring a product to light and share it, then this is one way that we can bring a solution to some of the women that can't go on HRTs. So I'm really excited about that.
I was going to add one more thing. We trust our friends. We trust people that we know. And so we just want to spread the word. Try it. You'll definitely have an impact. Spread the word, get it out to other women, just because it's word of mouth is very important, because we've been told so many things with all the supplements over the years that haven't been true. But when you have a product that you share with your friends, they're going to trust what you're saying. So that's, to me, very important.
That's one of the importances of having you come on and other women in the group who are care providers that come in and talk about, because we're going through it. We're trying to get the word out on the things that we've tried, the things that work for us, the things that we're passionate about, because there is, like you said, it's like a friend. We trust them more than some glib marketing or advertising campaign with paid spokespeople. When we've actually used it or we've done it and we're like, hey, this is something that I found, this is something that works for me, that I just want you to try. It may or may your results may differ, but definitely give it a shot before accepting. I don't want to say accepting defeat, because it's not accepting defeat, but maybe for some women it is, because I hear of these women that are just so lost and they are so dejected. And maybe they've gone, like you did, Debbie, through the medical system, going to the doctors and getting all the tests, and they can't find anything. I want to come around to the discussion we had earlier about the name of your brand, which is Think, Live, Give Goodness. It's very unique and meaningful. Would you mind sharing with us why you chose that name and what that represents for you?
Yeah, when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about a lot of things. So that's where the think came through. Live your best life, give back, and share what you can. So it kind of tied everything together. And then from a goodness perspective, live a good life, share, be kind. And then the philanthropic piece of the give. So that's kind of where it all came in. It just came to me one night before I was taking Rebalance when I wasn't sleeping. I was like, oh, that's the name. And it just kind of flows with my brand and the products that I include.
It also sounds like it's your passion. And if you're living your passion and you're sharing, that comes through and in the products, the way you live your life, your story. And also, I love that, you have a passion for pets, and you have six dogs. Is that right?
6 dogs, 4 miniature dachshunds and 2 bernedoodles. So I say the miniature dachshunds, they're like probably 2 or 1 dog. So, but yeah, there's 6 of them, ranging from 15 years old down to 1-year-old. So
a lot of energy.
Yes, we actually had to get the second bernedoodle for the bernedoodle that just turned 2, because the little dogs didn't really want to play with the bernedoodle. I'm like, we got to get the bernedoodle a puppy to keep him busy. So we got him another bernedoodle, and that worked. So, but yes, they're, what's one more? I mean, I won't go over 6. Like, we had 5, and then somebody in the neighborhood posted, there had been a death of a friend who had a dachshund, and she had promised the friend that she wouldn't put him back in the shelter. He had been rescued. And so my husband saw that, shocked me, because I'm like, oh, 5 dogs. Like he's like, we need to go look at this dog. We can't let this dog go back to the shelter. I'm like, you want 6 dogs? He's like, what's one more? I'm like, okay. We went like 20 houses away in the neighborhood, went there, and the lady literally came out the dog on a leash and went right to my husband and walked to the car. And he's my husband's best friend. It's like, it was just meant to be. It was fate. So
yeah, they tend
things
to
happen for a reason. Things happen for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
We're all dog lovers here.
Yeah.
And I know there's many of us that, have our favorite 4-legged friends that give us a lot of love and care and support. And, you just can't look at those little faces and just not be happy. It's just awesome.
Yeah, and they're good to take care of you when you're not feeling good. They know when you're not feeling good, and they'll just give you all the loving and take care of you best they can by laying on you.
I just loved your story and just sharing that. I mean, because it sounds like you have just really walked through so many experiences that have brought you to this point in your life. And I'm so blessed that we can hear your story and once again, let women know that they're not alone out there. And this new product, I'm excited about hearing about it, because there are new breakthroughs every day. And the more that we can bring these to women, get the word out, like you said, the more that we can help women to balance out their bodies so they don't have to go through these menopausal symptoms, that there are good solutions out there. So that is just great. So Marti, any final thoughts?
I had another question. What advice, Debbie, would you give for women who are struggling to find balance with finding balance and wellness in their lives? I believe you'd mentioned that there was a long time, especially when you were flying back and forth between Florida and Texas and you were working in the corporate world, that you were kind of unbalanced as far as self-care goes. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that and what you learned?
Yeah, I never really did self-care. Like I was always go, go, go. I will say that around the whole time that this came to fruition, I'm like, I want to do something more. I started looking at what am I doing for me?
Mm.
When you're in the corporate world and you have to travel to your clients, you're on an airplane Mondays and Fridays and you're on site, you really don't have much of a life. So I didn't really have a work-life balance. And part of me starting my own company was so that I could have better control. I could work when I wanted to work with who I wanted to work so that I could focus time on these other endeavors that I was passionate about. So I think that it took me a lot of years, and I will still say I'm not great at self-care, but I'm getting better. I continue to improve and do things for me. Something as easy as a manicure, pedicure, or I just finally hired a house cleaner. Like I'm done. I don't want to clean anymore. Like, so to me, a house cleaner is self-care. I don't have to clean. They come every 2 weeks and it's off my list. So things to make my life easier. And I want to be able to travel more with my husband and, my daughter. I didn't even mention my daughter. I mentioned the dogs and not my daughter. What a bad mom I am.
I'll do it.
Aw.
My daughter recently moved to Dallas. She's a pharmacist. And so she's started her life, got married last year. So all she's ever known of me is working. That's it. She's from the time she was a baby, because that's what I did. So I really want to be better at that and do things for me. And that's what I try to do. I'm not a person that goes to get massages and stuff like that. That's just not me. But shopping was another thing for me if I want to go shopping or if I want to go see a friend in Cape Cod like I did a couple weeks ago and stayed there for a long weekend. That's self-care to me. So making me a priority, I guess, is the biggest thing.
It is so important. Definitely.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
self-care. We talk a lot about that, and it looks different for everybody depending on what is important. I'm glad to hear that self-care is starting to be an important thing for you and you're taking care of yourself. That's amazing.
And I will tell you, it's one thing I tell my daughter who's going to be turning 30 in a few months, but like, take care of yourself now. Don't wait. Don't do what I did. So start thinking about you now. So, and that's kind of like trying to break that cycle.
And I think that's so
Hopefully.
important and I share that with my daughter. She's 18, but she's doing that too. She was so stressed out all of last year, her senior year of high school, with working 2 jobs and cheer and grades and everything. And I was like, we teach her, here's what we can do for self-care. And now she's the self-care queen. And I'm so proud of her.
That's great.
Because I'm glad that we can raise that generation to recognize that. Because I think when we were coming up, it was like grind, 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 work, 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 work. You got to do for other people. Don't be lazy. You got to get out there and hustle. And which is important if that's where we want to go. But as you found, Debbie, and as Robin, you found, and I found, that we're going to eventually hit a wall.
Mhm.
And from a lot of us, it's coming on right now as we're smacking into the wall of menopause. However, looking back, there were probably some changes and things that I could have done differently had I known then what I know now, that I think could have eased a little bit better as far as emotions go, as far as cortisol regulation goes, and the hormone regulation and all of that. So yes, it all ties into self-care, and it's not selfish to take care of ourselves first. As we all say, we cannot pour from an empty cup. And
right.
we have to take care of ourselves and do those things that feel good, to bring joy, to bring happiness, to bring comfort, to bring a smile to our face, because that for me fills me up more than going, well, hey, I worked 15 hours yesterday and I didn't break, and wow, look at me. There may have been a time in my life where there was a place for that, but not anymore.
Yeah.
How can people get a hold of you? I know you're going to be at Menopalooza, so you might want to share a little bit about that, what you're going to be talking about there, and where can we find you?
So, I'm going to be in Menopalooza, kind of talking about what we've talked about today with the cortisol product and Rebalance and, the whole history of it. Like I said, I'm very excited to have the CEO there to share the story. There will be links in the show notes, but wellness@ThinkLiveGiveGoodness.com is how you can reach me via email. I also have a site where you can schedule time with me one-on-one. It's menopauseissues.com. You can either join my weekly webinar or schedule a one-on-one meeting with me, because I know some people don't want to join the big meetings. So I'm actually getting more requests for one-on-one meetings than I am attending the webinar, which I think is interesting. But I'm available. Just reach out. and don't be afraid to ask for help. You just have a conversation. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to help. And I just want to share my knowledge. That's really it. That's really what I want to do.
Well, that's awesome that you have devoted your life and that you're here helping women, and that's what we're here to do. So I just really love this whole concept. I especially love hearing your story and your journey of what brought you here today, and just the importance of the self-care. I'm a lot about self-care and taking care of yourself, especially you came from a corporate background and you had to learn how to do self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. There's a lot of women, we don't know what self-care really means for us when we stop and learn how to slow down a little bit, which believe it or not, you would think that that would be easy to do, but for a lot of us it's not, because we're caretakers. We've got to have a project, we've got to be doing something, and so learning how to slow down and listen within so that we know what our mind and body and soul and spirit is saying to us. That is a real key right there. I'm so glad that you came on with us and sharing from your experiences. And I'm looking forward to seeing all your new products and hearing your expert in Sedona. Okay, so
Yes.
that's the Menopalooza retreat in Sedona in November. And we hope that everybody will come, because we're going to be bringing so many women together, sharing their story, making new friends. It's just going to be an amazing retreat. And we just really, really want all of you to be there.
And speaking of the Menopalooza retreat, if you've been paying attention, Robin and I have started a fun game for those who are attending called Finding Our Marbles game. And so, drum roll, I was an oboe player. This is not how we drum roll, but anywho, the marvel of the day is grace. Grace, grace. So if you go down to the description of this podcast, wherever you're seeing it, if it's on Facebook, it's in the description. If you're on YouTube or Spotify, again, in the description, in the show notes, you are going to find a link to click on, and it'll take you to a landing page where you can enter in today's marble word, which is grace. And by doing that, you will be entering yourself into the contest to win a $250 spa gift certificate at the Menopalooza retreat. So remember, we're going to be running this contest through August. We're going to have 6 weeks of this. You'll have 6 times to enter. That's 6 opportunities to win the drawing for the $250 spa gift certificate. So once again, that word is grace. Robin, you have anything else you want to add? What do you want our ladies to know about how you can help?
Yes, I'm about self-care. My business is Body Mind Coaching, and I have one-on-one sessions with ladies that want to make serious changes in their life, to find the tools to move through their menopause symptoms and find relief, find solutions. So give me a call down in the link. Let us do a one-on-one, and we can create a roadmap for you. How about you, Marty?
And I just want to once again announce, if you haven't noticed, if you're in the menopause support group, I run a weekly event called a mind massage, and I'm running those every Wednesday evening throughout the summer. And most likely the plan is to continue on. These sessions are specially designed to help you manage menopause stress, anxiety, and emotional roller coaster, guiding you towards deep relaxation and mental clarity. Each week, we're going to dive into essential topics like self-love, boosting confidence, and easing stress. It's all about equipping you with the tools to find peace and rejuvenation during this transformative time. Like I said, if you're a member of the menopause support group on Facebook, go ahead and check out the events section for the details and to sign up. You can pick any Wednesday evening that works in your schedule. They're all at a set time, but it's Wednesday night. So even if you go look at one coming up, if you can't make that one, check down the road. They're open for you. These are actual group hypnosis sessions with me. For those of you that don't know, I'm a certified consulting hypnotist, and this is an actual hypnosis session in the privacy of your own home, gently guiding your mind into more peace and calm. If you're not in the menopause support group on Facebook, that's totally fine. If you go to the description here on YouTube, if you're on YouTube or on Spotify, you will see the link as well to go out and check everything out.
Well, that is awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for being with us today on this episode. And we look forward to seeing everybody again next week. Thank you for joining us at the Meno Wave Lounge, hot flashes and cool conversations.
Don't forget to listen next week for next week's Marble of the Day to win your spa gift certificate.
Thanks for
Yes.
having me. I enjoyed
Thank
it.
you,
Thank
Debbie.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us in the Menowave Lounge. If you'd like to connect with Marti, Robin, our guests, or any of our expert Menowave care providers for personalized advice and support, head on over to our website at menowave.org and fill out an assessment that will match you with a provider who knows just how to help. Remember, you don't have to face menopause alone. Our team is here to provide the guidance and care you deserve. So, take that step towards reclaiming your well-being and connect with a Menowave care provider today. Thank you again for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Menowave Lounge, Hot Flashes and Cool Conversations.